Hey, so let's do a little bit of more algebra practice. Whole another page for you to do. What I want you to do is pause the video and try these questions by yourself. I'm going to put answers up, and then I'll go through all of the questions so you can watch whatever you need to, but I really want you to try this by yourself, because I know you've been doing math a long time, and you guys can do it. Alright, so pause it. Let's see how you did. These are the answers that you should have on that page. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk through all of the questions, and we're going to let you watch whatever you need to. Maybe you only have to watch question number 9, or maybe you only have to watch question 14, right? You can watch whatever you want. I'm going to go through any questions that you need help with. So in number 1, all I want to do here is get x by itself. Let's get a good color. To get x by itself, you divide by the thing that's touching the x, which is the 0.384. That cancels. Divide this numerator by that denominator, and your calculator is going to say 10.44270,833. The tenths place is right here, that first 4. Directly after it is another 4, which means you're not going to round up. You're going to leave it the same, and so that's where your answer became 10.4. In number 2, the best thing to do is to cross multiply. So if I cross this way, I get 12.38x equals. If I cross this way, I'm going to multiply those two numbers together, and it's going to give me 48.514006. Now it looks just like the first question. All you have to do is divide by the thing that's touching the x. So divide by the 12.38. X equals. So this numerator divided by that denominator, and your calculator is going to say 3.9187403. The thousandths place is 3 after the decimal, so right here. The 7 afterwards, though, means we have to round up. So I'm going to keep the 3.91, and that 8 is going to become a 9. Alright, in this one I want to cross multiply but only have one fraction. So if I do this, now I've got something I can cross multiply. If I cross this way, 1 times 682 is just 682. If I cross in the other way, I get 9070x. So I'm going to divide by the thing that's touching the x. X equals, divide this numerator by this denominator, and your calculator is going to say 0.075192944, and this was wrong. Should have been thousandths place. That was my typo. So if I round that there, that's the third place over from the decimal here. The 1 afterwards means I'm not going to round it up, so I'm going to keep it at 0.075. This one is the same thing. I want to cross multiply, which means I need to put that over 1. Now I can. 1 times x is just x equals. If I cross multiply in the other direction, just multiply those two numbers together. Your calculator says 270.48. We are going to round to the ones place, which is right here. The 4 afterwards means we are not going to round up, so we're going to keep the 200 and the 70. It doesn't matter if you write 270 like this with or without the decimal. Both of those are okay. In this example, I want to combine like terms, so I'm going to keep the x over here. Just take all 3 of these numbers and multiply them together, like combining like terms. Your calculator is going to say this. Then you just have to round. The tens place is right here, so I'm going to keep the 1 and the 9. This 9 means that the 0 has to round up, though, and this is where the rounding gets tricky. Everything on the right of the decimal is going to go away, but this 9 that I chopped off, you have to replace with a 0. Okay? If you left it like this, that would be wrong. You have to add a 0 for the 9 that you chopped off. So you can write your answer like this, or with the decimal. It does not matter to me. Okay? In this one, I want to combine like terms, but the numbers are kind of separated, so I like to write it so that the numbers are close to each other, and that might help you too. So all I did was I moved the numbers together. Now I can clearly see, okay, I need to take those two numbers and I need to combine them. I need to multiply them together. When you do that, your calculator says 1.809275, and then you'll bring down the x. Now you just have to divide by the thing that's touching the x. So cross that out, divide this numerator by that denominator, put that in your calculator. X equals, it says 609.6364. At the tenths place is right here, this first 6. Directly after it is a 3, which means we will not round up. We are going to leave it at 609.6. Alright, next one. This is a little bit different because we've got adding instead of multiplying and dividing. So I've got two numbers, but they're separated by this x, so I like to rewrite it so that the numbers are all close to each other. So you can do that, leave this on the other side, but over here, write the numbers next to each other. Oh, but don't copy them wrong like I did. Now I can see I need to take these two numbers and I need to add them together. So when you add that, you're going to get 102.8 and plus x. Don't forget to write that plus sign. If you just wrote 102.8x, that's very different. This plus sign reminds you that you need to use the river. And so in order to move that 102 away, you need to subtract it from both sides. This cancels, you get x equals, subtract these two numbers, and you're going to get 657.3. We want to round at the tenths place, which is right here. I don't have anything after it, which means I can't round it up. I'm going to leave it exactly the same as it is. Alright, over here I want to do some combining. So I'm going to multiply these numbers together, combine those like terms, and multiply these numbers together, combine those like terms. So we're just going to do some multiplication. Over here I get 695.442 equals. On the other side I get 0.746289, and don't forget to bring the x down. Now it's very easy. Get the x by itself, divide by the thing that's touching the x. 0.746289. Divide both sides by that number. X equals, just do this divided by this. That's going to give you 931.8668773. We're going to go to the tenths place, which is right here at this 8. I'm going to keep the 931, but because of the 6 directly after the 8, I have to make the 8 into a 0.9. Alright, first thing I would do in this one is I would take all of these numbers and I would combine like terms. I would multiply those numbers together. Keep the 485 over here. On the other side, that's equal to 13887.7056. And now you just have to divide by the thing that's touching the x. So divide both sides by 485. Do this number divided by that denominator. Your calculator is going to say 28.634444. The tenths place is where we want it, which is right here at this 6. So I'm going to chop my number there. Keep the 28. The 3 directly after it means you are not going to round up, so it's going to stay 28.6. Over here, let's start by combining like terms, and let's multiply those two numbers together. That's going to give me 59.2768 equals. Keep the 0327x on the other side. Now you just want to get x by itself, divide by the thing that's touching the x. 0327, 0327. When you divide, you'll do, this number divided by that number, and your calculator is going to say 18, 12, 7, 4, 6, 1, 7, 7. This is a hard one to round. The tens place is right here at this 1. Okay? I'm going to keep the 18 in front. I have a 2 directly afterwards. That means do not round up, so the 1 will stay. Now, all of these numbers over here on the right of the decimal go away, but for this 2 that we chopped off, we have to put a 0 back in. So think about it. If my original number was 1812, if I just wrote 181, that's not the same thing. But that is very, very close to 1810, so that's the answer that you want to have. Alright, this one has lots of things going on. So, first is combine like terms so that you don't have to look at as many numbers. Multiply these two things together, and then multiply these two things together. On the left, you're going to get 22,680, and keep that over x. On the right side, you'll get 4,680 over 96. Now, it's a very easy one to cross multiply. 4,680 times x is 4,680x. On the other side, you'll multiply these two numbers together, which will give you a big number. Now we want to get x by itself, divide by the thing touching the x. That cancels. Your calculator is going to tell you 465.230769. We want to round at the tens place. This one is a little bit tricky. The tens place is right there at the 6. So keep the 4 in front. This 5 means that I have to round up. So my 6 is going to become a 7. Everything on the right side of the decimal gets lost, but this 5 that we chopped off on the left needs a 0 to be replaced. So if you think about it, I had 465. I wouldn't say that that's close to 47, right? Those two numbers are very different, but 465 is very close to 470, so you have to put a 0 in for that 5. In this one, combine like terms, so multiply those two numbers together. You're going to get 4228 over the 70.6 equals, keep everything else on the other side, and now you're set up to cross multiply. So if I multiply here first, multiply the numbers 70.6 times 93.2, that's going to give me 6579.92, and don't forget the x that goes there. Cross in the other direction, multiply those two numbers together. Gives me this, and now you just need to get x by itself. Divide by the thing that's touching the x. Cancels over here. Do this number divided by this number. Your calculator is going to say x equals 88.03085 something. We want to round at the tenths place, which is right here at this 0. So I'm going to keep the original 88. The 3 after it means I am not rounding up. I'm going to keep it at 88.0. Alright, let's work on these last two hard ones. They have a lot of things going on, so first I would combine any like terms that you can. So I would multiply those two numbers together. So on the left side I get 0.341x over 801 equals. When I multiply over here I get 0.091455 over the 413, and now you're set up to cross multiply. So first cross these two numbers. You have to do 0.341 times 413. That gives me 140.833, and don't forget the x that was there. Cross the other way, multiply those two numbers together. Gives me 73.255455. Now divide by the thing that's touching the x on both sides. That's a 4. That's a terrible 4. Over here it cancels. Multiply this number by this number. Calculator is going to say x equals 0.520583. Now we need to round to the thousandths place. Thousandths means 3 after the decimal. So I'm going to keep the 0.52. This 5 right here means I have to round up, so that 0 will become a 1. Over here we have lots going on, so I would take anything that you can and combine like terms. So I'd multiply these two numbers in red and multiply the numbers in blue. On the left hand side I get 17024 over the 273.0 equals. Multiply on the other side 8421.114 over x. Now you're set up, you're going to cross multiply. Cross this way. You get 107024x equals, cross in the other direction, multiply those two numbers together, and you're going to get, oh, that's a long number, 229,896, 4.122. Almost done. You need to divide by the thing that's touching the x. That cancels over here. Do this number divided by that number. Your calculator is going to tell you x equals 135.04253 something. Now we just want to round. The tenths places right here. I'm going to keep the 135. This 4 means do not round up since it's less than 5, and so it's 0.0. Alright, you did it. Let me know if you still have any other questions I can help you with.